Today, we're diving into a serious and fast-developing global issue: the rising tensions between Iran and Israel, and the United States' strategic move to deploy its B-2 stealth bombers. This deployment signals that Washington is preparing for all options, including the possibility of a military strike, as Iranian and Israeli forces exchange aggressive rhetoric and actions. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll explore what's really going on, why these bombers matter so much, what President Trump is discussing with his national security team, and most importantly, what could happen next in this dangerous escalation. Let's begin by setting the scene. Over the past few weeks, we've witnessed tit-for-tat strikes and heated rhetoric between Iran and Israel. Several incidents, including Israeli airstrikes on Iranian positions and Iranian retaliation, have pushed both sides closer to the brink of direct confrontation. Israel claims Iran is fast-tracking its nuclear program and destabilizing the region. Iran denies this, accusing Israel of repeated acts of sabotage and aggression. As these two powerful nations square off, the United States faces a difficult decision: to stand back and hope tensions ease, or to prepare for a potential strike to prevent further escalation. Now, let's look at the centerpiece of today's story: America's B-2 stealth bombers. The B-2 Spirit is one of the most advanced and feared aircraft in the world. Capable of carrying conventional and nuclear weapons, including powerful bunker busters like the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, it can strike heavily protected targets deep underground. That's key in this situation. Why? Because Iran's most important nuclear facilities, such as Fordo, are fortified underground, making them very hard to hit without specialized weapons. By moving these bombers to Andersen Air Force Base in Guam, the U.S. is sending a clear message. It has the capability to strike if ordered. It is prepared to escalate quickly if diplomacy fails. This isn't a casual deployment. It's a strategic and political signal to Tehran and its allies. Another key development is President Donald Trump calling a National Security Council meeting for tonight. Why is this important? Because it shows that top U.S. leadership is actively discussing options, not just observing. Reports indicate that Trump will hear from military commanders, intelligence officials, and diplomatic advisors. The agenda will likely include the latest intelligence on Iranian capabilities, assessing the risk of a preemptive strike, evaluating diplomatic channels, and whether they could slow the march toward conflict, contingency plans for protecting U.S. bases and allies in the region. It's also important to remember that President Trump is approaching this issue knowing that any decision will shape America's role in the region for years to come, and could impact the global economy, security, and his own political future. There are several potential paths forward. Diplomatic resolution. If back-channel diplomacy succeeds, the bombers may never leave their base, and this tense standoff could de-escalate. Limited U.S. strike. The U.S. could use the B-2s to hit one or two key Iranian sites as a warning. Full-scale conflict. If Iran or its allies retaliate, things could spiral into a much bigger regional war, and we have to think about the impact. Oil prices could spike. Other regional actors, like Hezbollah, might get involved. The U.S. could face new global security threats overnight. None of these options is easy, and each one carries serious risks. Finally, let's look at the international community. The European Union is urging restraint. Russia and China have warned against a U.S. strike. Even U.S. allies like the U.K. and France want more talks before any action. And there's public opinion. Many Americans don't want another Middle East war. Israelis fear for their safety as Iranian rockets and proxies could retaliate. Iranian civilians worry they'll bear the brunt of any strikes. So tonight's decisions will not happen in a vacuum. They will be felt around the world.